Peace. Yo, peace to the divine infinite consciousness and peace to the God body. We just gonna jump straight into this. We're about to build about the earthquakes, or a series of them that happened in the year 1812. It was very much documented, but you didn't learn about it too much in school. So Pete, this shit has a lot to do. Just like you say, the flat earth, like why does it matter and all of that? Well, same shit with this. Now there was a earthquake that happened in Madrid. They call, I think it's Madrid, Kansas or something like that. Or Missouri. But it happened at like it's happened a while ago, but it was so strong that it touched all the way to fucking New York. People felt it in New York, man. They said it was 8.1 on the Richter scale, but shit, they had a Richter scale then, I guess. So a series of these things happened. I think one took place, I think it was in December of 1811. Then another one took place in January of 1812. And then another one took place in February of 1812. So these three earthquakes devastated fucking North America, yo. Floods, the sun was blocked out. I mean, it's documented history. It was a man named, I think his name Takumesh or something like that. But he was like a native, and he pretty much broke down like, yo, it was a comet that was going to be coming beforehand, and when these comets came, this comet forewarned you, pretty much kind of like the Nibiru, or kind of like what Zachariah Sitchin was saying and shit, so I call it the mothership, stuff like that. But these things, this shit that comes, it fucks around, it just fucks up shit. Big ass earthquakes happen, the floods happen, fires, people drown, shit like that. So when the Europeans came up on that, they seen that this shit was gonna happen, and they knew that these events was popping off. They knew. They was like, hey, well, since this is finna happen, we know how to establish our people in certain parts of the world, and put this back, in certain parts of the world, to have them on point, so when it do happen, the parts of the world that they're in, they can be safe and they can reestablish themselves as the elite at that time, and then we come in and ramshack and take over the rest of the shit that was built. So, and this is how like sub races, they do, so this is how shit is. But we all knew that these events happened. The fucked up part is that we don't know now. So, we was a peaceful people, as can tell by our nature. And that's why we always be like, yo, that ain't right. Yo, son, that ain't right. You ever wonder why you say that? You got so much moral inside you, man. So this is the reason why you say that shit. You have morality. You didn't have to have the money. You had a trading thing where y'all trade with each other and was just amused at seeing each other. Like, shit, I just like seeing you, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and the things that you offer, and it's beauty, and you can get blessed for that shit. But these earthquakes, though, man, this shit was big because there was maps that was already made and that they could use to get over here. They already was on the boats, man. And if they weren't on the boats, they stole some maps and they learned how to do the shit with the people who was on the boats doing the trading. Now, if it was the so-called Moors at that time, well, then the Moors got their maps stolen from them and they got over here in Amexem or America or Americush or Alatans or Atlantis or Atlan or Utlan, whichever you want to call it. All right. So this shit happens pretty often, man. So when they talking about the deluge, shit just happened like a couple hundred years ago, man. All right. So the same shit's going down now. We got the forerunner. We had the warnings. but not from our teachers, like the black teachers in the community and shit, because they weren't really building on all that shit in the future. You know, they was only given a certain amount of information, and then they just go from there. You know, kept us playing with a riddle for at least another 100 years so that we can fall victim to the next flood and the next deluge. And this is why I'm like, nah, nigga, you gotta wake the fuck up. This is a worldwide thing here, man. And you just ain't finna just think you can do this by yourself. So you need to wake up. Know what the fuck's going on. These structures is over here. Yep. They put the little war with the black man and the black woman against each other, which is the fucked up part. What the ones who fell for it, let them go, man. Let them go. Just how it is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people still in their lower self. I'm telling you, it's hard to get up out of there, man. I mean, it's all kind of little shit that goes down up in there. So it's hard to get out. So all you can do is just utilize that energy and turn it against, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to say negative because you do need negative and positive, or positive and negative to keep shit in motion, but to just turn against the unneeded energy that we need, that we don't need at this time type shit. And we just need that unity. So yeah, that war, that Madrid war, I mean not war, but that Madrid earthquake stemmed, gave way to all the world wars, the Civil War, you know, World War I, World War II. These are from people who, they couldn't take their lands and shit. So this is why they fucking around with them. You know, they had help. And don't get swept under the rug by these new Tatari muds. They ain't new. They've been helping with the information. It ain't like a person, but it was a land though. Not me, a people, but it was a land, and then people, you know, roll with it. But there's always been a world civilization, a world culture prior to this new root race. There's always been, you know what I'm saying? And we always shared our information until, you know, we get to a point in our civilization where we outgrow ourselves and get very, very egotistical, man. And that's how we enter into our iron ages, where shit's like fucked up. So this is very crucial, y'all. All right, it's real crucial. It's on some shit. And so with these muds, you're just experiencing them going into their iron age like that. You know, they're in the iron age and the destruction is happening, so they're trying to prolong it by gathering up their elite and building skyscrapers. And the skyscraper, that name alone just lets you know what it's doing. All right, they ain't just in the sky. They try to escape the next atrocity that's gonna happen. This is why they don't teach you real history and shit. They don't let you know that this shit goes down every so often. You know, so this ain't like no every millions of years and whatever. No, motherfucker, this shit's every 200s and something. There's certain areas in the world that you can go to at certain times, but you've seen it now. Now that you have the television, you can see it. You know, we got the broadcasting signals. We can see it from far. We see it in the tsunamis happening in Malaysia. We see it in when the levees break down in Louisiana. We seen it in all the mudslides and shit like that. We seen it. You just haven't seen this one yet. This one is the big earthquake in the middle of the United States. It's gonna crack this motherfucker in half, man. It's gonna affect damn near everything. So yeah, 2020's coming up. Knowledge born, save self in 19. And by that next eclipse, it's on, baby. All right, so I love you. And I'm gonna elaborate on this a little bit more in the next joint. We're gonna build on, you know, the actual events that happened and how they came up on their technology to know of this shit in the first place, and how they misused it and how it's going to destroy them. All right, peace. I love you.